Hey guys, I think there are some things we need to talk about. If you didn't know, September is Suicide Prevention Month, and that is something that is actually really important to me. And it is because that it has affected not only myself, but my family by having people that I love take their own lives. Now, I want to start off by saying that this is something that we don't talk about a lot, but it's something that we need to discuss. And I thought that I would basically go first to get the ball rolling. Now, I know you guys have seen me on King's Court on Bravo, and yes, that was a fantastic time. And it looks like everything is sunshine and roses, from my TikTok to my Instagram to everything that I do on YouTube and in my life and travel and all of those things. Fantastic, wonderful. But there was a time where I actually considered unaliving myself as well. I know. You never really know who is thinking about this. And it turns out quite a lot of people think about this maybe once, maybe twice, or maybe constantly. And it is something that people of all ages have thought of, from young children, as we have seen, who are maybe 7 or 8 years old, all the way up to people who are in their 80s and 90s. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you are thinking about unaliving yourself, I'd like you to reconsider. Now, let me preface this by saying I suffer from depression, and I was diagnosed with that when I was about 17. I was living in New York back in the 2010s, and I was going through a really rough time. Even though I had friends and I was social, I didn't really feel like anything was going right for me. When people think about taking their own lives, they are thinking more about how the world would be better without them, or how problems will be solved, or how they won't feel the pain that they feel deep down inside any longer. It is a means to an end of being relieved of the pain, the suffering, or anything else that that person may be going through. But the truth is, there are other people that absolutely feel like you, and there's someone that understands. Oftentimes after someone takes their own life, a lot of their friends and family wind up asking, well, why didn't they say something? Why didn't they speak up? They could have come to me. They could have talked to me. And for someone going through that internal struggle, it's not always as simple as that. If they're anything like me, I actually didn't share any of my woes or anything with my family or friends. So I actually was going through life pretty normal. I would go out, meet friends, talk on the phone, I would laugh and have jokes, and everything seemed fine from the outside. But internally, I was really having some challenging moments. If you are thinking about doing it, I want you to pick up the phone and call a friend, a family member, a stranger if you need to, and just tell them you're thinking about doing it. Our experiences matter. And a lot of us share the same experiences, and we don't talk about them enough. There's always that saying of check in on your strong friends because they're the ones holding everyone else up. And that's true. You should check on the people that you don't think need your support or understanding or love, because they are also dealing with a struggle and a battle themselves that sometimes they just don't share with the rest of the world. But I think one of the reasons why that happens and people don't speak up or share or decide to talk about the pain is, one, they don't think somebody is going to understand, or that their internal struggles are just small when they really aren't, because your feelings are valid. What you're saying matters. But also, they're not sure how other people's reactions are going to go. When somebody says, I'm thinking about hurting myself, is that person going to start judging them? Are they going to just be like, I don't want to talk to you anymore? And those are the last things that somebody needs in this situation, but it's the first thing that that person is probably thinking of. So if you have someone in mind that you think has been going through a rough time, or they're exhibiting signs that they may be trying to harm themselves or thinking about it, ask them vulnerably, openly, and genuinely, and let them know right off the bat, no matter what you say, I will still listen to you and I will still be here for you. Definitely try to create a safe space. Remember to be curious about what they're saying, to ask questions, and to leave room and space for them to answer. Don't listen to respond, because a lot of people's problems are really personal and they need time to trust you to open up. So even though you may ask once, ask again, especially if you think that that person really is in danger of harming themselves. I know this is a very tricky subject to talk about, but I don't want it to be surrounded by shame or anything like that, which is why I wanted to share a little bit about my experience and stories. And no, this is not the first time that I had thought about this. I had thought about it a few times before. In passing, maybe once or twice. It wasn't a consistent thought until I got into a really rough part of my life, and it seemed like it was going to be the only way. But thankfully, in that moment, something changed and I decided against doing it. And I hope that if you are thinking about it, that you'll decide against it too. If you are a person who is experiencing bullying or having thoughts of self-doubt or being incapable or you're not good enough or anything like that, you're reading comments or messages from people that are behind a screen just like you, and you're starting to take it to heart or take it personally, or it's starting to affect your day, take a break from social media. And just because someone on the internet says something about you does not make it true. Don't internalize what someone is saying about you, especially when you, for a fact, know that it's not true about you. And it makes it even worse when those comments come from people that you do know. So if you are experiencing something like that, take a break. Do an activity that has nothing to do with the internet or social media. Drawing, pottery, puzzles, reading, cooking, anything that has to do with outside, just experiencing life that can make you feel better. Read affirmations, anything, but just don't be on the internet all the time. I know it's hard to get us all off the internet, but sometimes we need to get off of there so we can reset our minds, our sense of selves, and our spirits, just so we can be the best people that we can be. The internet is a crazy place. We know it. But we have to not let those people's thoughts and opinions of us dictate how we feel about ourselves. So if you are somebody who is on social media and is starting to feel not so good, step back and take a break. It'll all be there when you come back. I promise. 988 is the suicide prevention hotline that was set up for people to call that instead of 911. And it has been really helpful and effective as a mental health tool to get connected to a counselor or a psychologist or somebody that can help talk you down in those really heightened moments. The Trevor Project has also a phone number and a hotline that you can use. Also, you can reach out to local clinics and local medical offices who will also get you in contact. You don't necessarily need to call 911 unless you really are on the verge of a life-threatening emergency, or you are at that stage of, I don't know who else to talk to, and they should be able to connect you with someone. So this is one of the things I think we should definitely talk about more, and especially since September is Suicide Awareness and Prevention Month. I don't take this cause lightly, obviously, and like I said, I have actually had these thoughts in the past, and I have unfortunately had some family members who have succumbed to this same fate. So talk to each other. Let the people that you see and know in your life know that you love them, you care about them, and they are absolutely worth every single breath they take. I'll see you next time.